Welcome back to Bike Culture Hub. The story of motorcycles in India, and to a large extent in many parts of the world, cannot be told without Bajaj. This brand has consistently challenged the limits of what is possible at an affordable price. Over the last decade, the Dominar 400 has emerged as Bajaj's flagship machine in the street sport touring category, and with the arrival of the 2025 Bajaj Dominar 400, the company has once again taken the formula and refined it into a motorcycle that feels more premium, more capable, and more desirable than ever. Today, we're going to break down everything about this motorcycle, from its key features and design elements to its performance, ride feel, pricing, and what really sets it apart in a crowded segment. So if you're considering the Dominar, or just curious about how far Bajaj has taken this platform, settle in, because we're going deep into the heart of the 2025 Bajaj Dominar 400. When the Dominar first launched years ago, it was marketed as the bike that could dominate the roads. That philosophy hasn't changed, but the way Bajaj has evolved the motorcycle is evident in every detail. The 2025 model keeps the muscular, road-focused stance intact but sharpens the lines, improves aerodynamics, and brings in a level of sophistication that helps it stand proudly next to bigger capacity machines. From the very first glance, you notice the aggressive LED headlamp cluster, now with an updated DRL signature that makes the bike instantly recognizable. It's wider, bolder, and carries that unmistakable road presence. The tank shrouds are larger, giving the motorcycle a beefier front profile, and the 13-liter sculpted fuel tank carries a sense of solidity that adds to the Dominar's touring persona. Even small touches like the split seat design, the redesigned exhaust system, and the blacked-out engine casing show that Bajaj has been listening to rider feedback and making continuous refinements. Powering the 2025 Bajaj Dominar 400 is the tried-and-tested 373.3 cubic centimeters single-cylinder, liquid-cooled, fuel-injected engine, derived from KTM's DNA but tuned specifically for Bajaj's character. Over the years, this motor has developed a reputation for reliability and mid-range punch, and in its latest avatar, Bajaj has tweaked it further for smoother performance and slightly better refinement. It produces around 40 horsepower and 35 Nm of torque, figures that put it squarely in the premium entry-level sport touring space. But what matters is not just the numbers, but how it delivers. Twist the throttle and you get a linear surge of power that builds confidently, making highway overtakes effortless while still being manageable for city riding. This balance between city practicality and highway cruising is where the Dominar shines. It's not overly aggressive like a pure sports bike, nor is it too laid-back like a cruiser. Instead, it hits that sweet spot that appeals to riders who want one motorcycle that can do it all. The gearbox is a 6-speed unit with a slipper clutch, which ensures smoother downshifts and adds to the sporty feel. On the open highway, you can easily cruise at 100 to 120 km per hour without the engine feeling strained, and that's where the Dominar really delivers its value as a touring motorcycle. Bajaj has also worked on vibration control, one of the earlier criticisms of the bike. At cruising speeds, the engine now feels much more refined, with vibrations only showing up at the very top of the rev range, something most riders will hardly notice in day-to-day use. This improvement alone makes the 2025 model a much better long-distance companion. When it comes to the chassis and suspension, the Dominar 400 is built on a perimeter frame that gives it stability and confidence at speed. At the front, it features $43 million forks, and at the rear, a preload adjustable monoshock. This setup strikes a balance between comfort and handling. On smooth highways, it feels planted and rock solid. Take it into the twisties, and it responds eagerly, giving you confidence to lean in and enjoy the corners. And when you're navigating city potholes or uneven roads, it absorbs the bumps well enough to remain comfortable for daily commutes. Bajaj has clearly engineered this motorcycle to handle India's varied road conditions, and it shows in the way it rides. Braking performance comes from a 320 mm front disc and a 230 mm rear disc, supported by dual-channel ABS. The brakes offer strong bite and progressive feel, something you'd expect from a machine in this category. It's reassuring whether you're slowing down from highway speeds or navigating tight urban spaces. Comfort is another area where Bajaj has made notable improvements. The split seats are well cushioned, and the rider triangle is upright yet slightly sporty, making long rides far less tiring. The pillion seat, often overlooked on sportier bikes, is also spacious enough to accommodate a passenger comfortably. Technology plays an increasingly important role in motorcycles today, and the 2025 Dominar 400 doesn't lag behind. The bike features a fully digital instrument console that displays everything from speed, RPM, and gear position to trip meters, average fuel efficiency, and a distance to empty readout. In addition, Bajaj has added a secondary display near the fuel tank, which provides extra information like clock, odo, and gear indicator, keeping the main cluster uncluttered. The bike also gets full LED lighting all around, including headlamp, tail lamp, and turn indicators, which not only enhances visibility but also adds to the premium feel. One of the unique selling points of the Dominar 400 has always been its touring-focused accessories, and the 2025 model takes it a step further. Fuel efficiency is another factor buyers will be keen on. The Dominar 400, despite being a 400 cubic centimeters machine, manages to deliver around 28 to 32 kilometers per liter depending on riding conditions. With its 13-liter tank, you're looking at a range of over 350 kilometers on a single fill, which is quite practical for touring. Considering the performance it offers, this balance of power and efficiency makes it a strong contender in the value for money category. Speaking of value, let's talk about pricing. The 2025 Bajaj Dominar 400 comes in at around 2.5 to 2.6 lakh rupees ex-showroom in India, depending on the variant and optional touring kits. This pricing places it in direct competition with motorcycles like the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, the KTM Duke 390, and the Honda CB300R, but it manages to undercut many of them while still offering comparable or even better features. This aggressive pricing is part of what makes the Dominar such a compelling option. You're essentially getting near premium performance and features at a price that remains accessible to a wide range of riders. For riders who want that premium, commanding road presence without spending double the money, this bike delivers in spades. Available in new color schemes, including stealth-inspired matte tones and bold metallic finishes, it also gives buyers the freedom to pick a style that reflects their personality. In terms of unique selling points, the Dominar 400 positions itself as the everyman sport tourer. It's powerful enough to thrill, comfortable enough to tour, refined enough for everyday commutes, and affordable enough to not break the bank. No other motorcycle in this price segment offers such a well-rounded package. It has the spirit of adventure and the DNA of a sports bike, all wrapped in a package that remains accessible. So if you're looking for a machine that dominates the streets, holds its own on the highways, and gives you that big bike experience at an accessible price point, the 2025 Bajaj Dominar 400 should be right at the top of your list. It remains one of the most balanced, value-packed motorcycles in its category, and with the latest upgrades, it's better than ever. And with that, we conclude our deep dive into the 2025 Bajaj Dominar 400. Let me know what you think of this bike. Would you choose it over the likes of the KTM Duke 390 or the Royal Enfield Himalayan? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Bike Culture Hub for more in-depth motorcycle reviews, and stay tuned because we've got plenty more machines to cover. Thanks for watching, ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.